what's going on, everybody? Mike,
Craig,
and we're from Strange Aeon Games, and we're two wizards, one table.
Today we're going to talk about Chessex Lab Dice Wave 1. These came out in 2019. In 2018 at Gen Con, Chessex released a number of what they called test sets. These all had a serial number of TPY poly followed by a 2-digit number. A test to see what sets would be popular and what's going to come to retail. The more popular ones coming to retail, among them Festive Pop Art, Water Lily, and a number of others. After that experiment, Chessex decided to do an actual retail release of their experimental dice colors and styles. A retail price of $11.99.
Which is fair.
Yeah, it's a fair price. 6 sets. We're going to break them down one by one. First, we got CHX 30001 Festive Autumn with White. Wave 1 has a lot of festives in the collection. I need to point out that these were sold as 7-piece sets. Every one of my sets includes an 8th piece, the pipped D6. These were sold separately in bags of 50 assorted. So the Wave 1 pip dice would have the 6 sets we're going to talk about in an assortment of 50 pip dice. I have this for every one of these dice, but they were not included with it. They were separate.
Yeah. So keep that in mind. So when you buy these online or from a vendor or anybody like that, the pit D6 is probably not going to be included.
No.
Unless it's a personal collector like said such wizard next to me.
The colors are very autumny. There's a lot of orange and some greens. And the Festive set is known for having what they call windows, which are little areas of the die. I don't know how well you can see it in there, but they don't have any color. It's literally
just
clear,
translucent, clear
translucent
or
plastic.
Yeah.
And that comes from the color mix. Colors don't get mixed fully. Some people really like them and want dice with lots of windows. This has a very big window. I don't know how well you can see it in between the 1 and the 4.
Kind of see it.
It's
right in between the 1 and the 4.
This one also has again, I don't know how well you can see it, but it's got a bubble right in the middle of the D4. But, flaws happen.
It does happen. Which, for some people that don't know, bubbles and stuff do have a tendency to mess up the randomization of the roll.
They can.
It's potential. If you do have one, hopefully it's in the dead center so it's not as violent.
They almost feel that a big window is an incomplete die because it's not colored. For me, it depends on the window. It's purely an aesthetic thing. Depends on the die. Some of them I like. They look good. Some of them...
I personally like them because at that point it's all like, one, it's random,
Yeah.
and it builds more character to the die instead
of
just
sure,
being
it definitely makes
muddled with
it
color.
makes each die more unique.
Very unique.
Some people,
But if it throws off the whole set and like one die doesn't match, then it's just
some people pick their own set. Like they call it a curated set, where you literally buy 4 or 5, a dozen sets of the same dice and pick through them and pick the ones you like best. Some people, especially with the festives, sometimes one color becomes more dominant than another, so they want an entire set with that color being more dominant. Actually, one of these sets was curated from 4 sets.
some people are that picky. With good reason.
Well, I had access to them, people who wanted to buy them, so if they pass through my hands, I'm going to pull out what I like.
Yeah,
whatever.
Why not?
This next one is CHX 30005, Festive Dahlia with White. Another festive set.
I was kind of hoping they would be like the Black Dahlia.
Yeah, right.
Those dice are killer.
Again, I have the pipped, which was not included. These are you know, pinkish.
Cotton candy. Touch of
Kinda.
orange. A little bit of a white pearlescent.
Some windows in there again. As far as the quality of the dice, they're Chessex. You get basically what you expect. Chessex are good. I've done pretty extensive roll testing and float testing. Some people argue the validity of float testing, whatever. I've done it. I've done 1,000 roll tests on dice, on many dice. Chessex really...
If you're crazy on that, like, it's not super worth it unless it's like your regular set of dice and you want to know,
Yeah,
like,
but...
are my dice off? Like...
Yeah, but I'm insane, and I do things like that. And Chessex is
hence the beard. Sitting around a lot,
middle of the road
stuff.
Chessex dice are a little high, middle of the road dice. They're not the highest quality out there, but
you get what you pay for.
What makes up for it?
I like them.
What makes up for it is Chessex is so damn accessible. You can get them
Yes.
at Barnes and Noble. Come on.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
But not only that, the huge variety. A lot of the people that collect dice don't even use the dice to play with. They don't get rolled. None of these have been rolled ever on an unprotected surface. Yes, they're being rolled right here, but it's a padded, you know?
Yeah.
Because we're crazy collectors.
That's to put it lightly.
Next up, we got CHX 30007, a festive flare with white. Another festive set. This one actually has the luminary effect in it. We'll go over that a little bit later, and we'll showcase that. But they have
nice orange with white, a little bit of yellow to it.
Yeah, the luminary effect is a new glow-in-the-dark effect. We'll go into detail about it later.
But like we were saying, is all like the ones that have like a large window to them, it almost throws off the colorization where it's just a completely different hue. So a lot of people, they do get a little bit crazy about that. And that's when you start picking through multiple sets and you're just like, that one complements my set then a little bit more.
Yeah, because your set sometimes doesn't quite match up, like especially this D6. If you look at that one, look at how much yellow is in there. But compared to this, there's no yellow.
So a little bit of evenness to your set, especially if it's like your favorite set. Is it going to come to you perfectly? No, and they're mass produced.
And another thing that you're going to see, we'll probably do an episode where we talk about how dice are manufactured. But basically, these are injection molded, where plastic is injected into a mold where it hardens, and through the path that they injected the dice, they then clip it and they're tumbled. Chessex quality lately has been a little bit off. There was a number of sprue issues. You see that little dot right there on the point? That's where that's a stress mark from where this was clipped off of the sprue.
But keep in mind too, these are lab dice. These were meant as testers for the public.
Yes. But you do see that from time to time.
It is a thing.
On regular dice.
I've gotten those sprue marks on like expensive dice before, and it sucks, like it does, but it is a thing.
Sometimes manufacturers will replace it if you complain about that, but
later. I skipped over a number.
That's okay. Going back to the
backlog, back
with
Scooby-Doo effect.
Chessex 0, CHX 30003, lustrous pink. The lustrous is nice, and it's actually one of my wife's favorite collections. I really like it too. They tend to be more metallic, lustrous bronze, lustrous copper.
My OCD kicked in. It's just like, I gotta straighten these out. Like
these lustrous all have that kind of almost cracked look to it. It shows well on that side. Again, I have the pipped in here, which it didn't come with. Lately, I've had an affinity for pink dice. I don't know why. The others...
Real men roll pink, I guess. So that is a thing.
I don't know.
No judgment. No
and,
judgment.
You know, on what day is it we're supposed to wear pink? Wednesdays? In the dice groups. Thanks to Shane Ross and some others. Shout out Shane. On Wednesdays we wear pink, and he posts selections of pink dice. We got Chessex 30015, Festive Illusion. I don't know what illusion is referenced to. It's ALLUSION, not illusion.
You're a wizard. You don't know what an illusion is?
That's illusion.
I know. I'm fucking with you.
Or are you ill?
I am. At least that's what my medication tells me.
These, I still think, and I've felt this since the start, that it looks like
I would have called them grapefruit.
bad.
Personally.
It looks like bad meat to me.
Yeah.
Grapefruit, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it's kind of like a pink grapefruit with like. It was like you took like an entire grapefruit and just jammed them into dice.
Yeah, this one's got very, I don't know, what is that? Purple? It's more, I don't know.
Almost like a magenta.
Magenta, fuchsia. I don't even know what color fuchsia is.
Fancy,
honestly.
fancy color words, right?
And again, what we were saying before
that's what it is, mauve.
what we were saying before about the variants in colors. Look at how much yellow is on this D4.
Almost like a neon green with a blue ink.
Yeah, this yellow, this D4 has a huge amount
Bless
of
you.
yellow, especially when you compare it to the rest of the set.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I don't know. I kind of like this, like the peak,
Yeah.
and especially since it's on the 4. Like if it was any
Well, it
other
makes it
number,
stand out.
yeah, it makes it
Yeah.
stand out. So like if you were
Yeah.
like, well, movie magic. Yeah, it rolled a 4. It's just like yes, crit, you know. But at the same time, is it my favorite set? No. Is it different? Absolutely.
All right, so all of these sets so far, they originally retailed at $11.99,
Yeah.
and they're all currently available on eBay for about $12.
So if you are planning on adding them to your collection, you watch the video and you're like, oh my god, they make lab dice and they're like one-offs,
Yeah.
maybe, potentially.
Yeah.
You have time to collect these at the proper price.
Yeah, you can find most of them on eBay for about $12.
On average, give or take $1, shipping
Yeah,
and handling.
you may be able to still find some in your local game store or LGS or FLGS for favorite. Or friendly local game store.
Whatever tickles you.
So now we're going to get into the last set. CHX 30013 Nebula Nocturnal Blue. Nebula is Chessex's version of vapor or diffusion dice. They tend to be clear translucent with like wisps of color coming through the translucents.
I almost refer to them as phantom dice.
These are very heavy in color. There's blues and purples.
Yeah. Despite its clarity, it's actually really dark for its color.
Yeah,
It's surprising.
Nebula tend to be lighter colored dice. There's a lot of translucence to them, and you literally see like wisps of color going through them. These are not really the case, but kind of. You can see wisps of color.
I'm like trying to set it down gently.
Right. You can see wisps of color. There's one of those sprue marks I was telling you about again, right there.
The infamous sprue mark.
And this also has, just like the Festive Flare did, these have the luminary effect, which is a glow-in-the-dark effect. It was introduced earlier in the year as CHX 27566 Luminary Sky with Silver, named by popular vote in the Dice Maniacs Club. I believe it was Michael Schaefer himself who at the time was ran the Dice Maniacs Club, and he was one of the founders. I believe it was him in particular that named them the Luminary Effect. I don't know if we named it Sky or not. I think we just came up with the Luminary Effect.
I think so. Something like that. Also, real quick to point out, it's a real easy thing to distinguish between the lab dice as well as the kind of like the pseudo-regular sets. is there's actually a distinguishing bottom end to each of the sets of dice. So the lab dice will more than likely always have this blue bottom to it. The regular ones will actually have the standard black.
Yes.
So
Yes.
something to keep in mind as well.
And when Luminary Sky was initially released, it was released with a very colorful label, which Chessex has never done before or since.
I remember you showed that to me, and I was just like, "What? They made a variant?"
It was just recently replaced. I don't know if it's a new production run or if
They're just trying it out.
Yeah, or if the label was a limited run or what. But they're the exact same dice set. You can see right here, just different packaging. But it introduced the luminary effect. That's a good one. You can see it right in the windows on this D6. Hopefully you can see it. There's little dots inside that almost look like glitter but don't actually shine. What those are is the luminary specs. All of these sets glow in the dark. They can be charged by overhead lighting, they can be charged by a flashlight, by the sun, or you can like supercharge them with a black light.
Yeah.
By shining a black light on
we're actually
them.
going to do. We're going to do a little bit of movie magic, so come back and we'll show you the darkness. It's dark. You can sort of kind of not really see them, but you'll actually, we got a black light here to kind of charge these up. You can kind of, well, we can see it better than you can. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to supercharge some of these particles inside of the dice so you can see them.
Yeah, you can actually see, what is it, this one? Yeah, this D4. No, what am I?
Yeah.
There's something over here that's glowing already.
Yeah, you can actually see it almost looks like space glitter. It's pretty crazy looking. It's pretty nice. Doesn't really transfer to camera all that great. So I'm going to kind of do that for you, and then you can kind of see it kind of come through. It's better in person, trust me. Then you have like...
all of this type of stuff always shows
better in person.
And honestly, dice are hard to capture properly on camera. You really, especially swirly dice, you really need to hold it and look at those colors.
You really do. So...
Whoa.
Yeah. We'll give it a little bit more of a retro feel, right? It's all like almost feels like a skating rink in here.
You can see, at least I can sitting here. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. You can see lots of specs in here.
Actually, for the way it's set now, it's almost what it looks like at night. We adjusted through the movie magic to kind of bring that right, but that's what it actually kind of looks like in person.
There's some nice sets in there. There's some sets. And the funny thing is, the ones that are least popular are probably
the ones that are actually
going to be the ones that in the long run were a worthwhile investment, even if you don't like the dice.
Give it a couple of years, they're actually worth way more.
Because they likely will not be reproduced.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody has fallen in love with Festive Flare, and Festive Flare does not get produced, the only place to buy them is aftermarket.
Yeah, and that's going to cost you a pretty penny.
It's going to be
and the ones that are actually the most expensive now, those are the ones you kind of want to avoid, is because they're recently out of print.
Unless you want the fancy label, wait for them.
If you're like us and you collect these at a stupid rate, then you want that.
Because that Nebula Nocturnal especially, it's going. I don't even know if I mentioned it. Did I mention that that's going for $45 on eBay?
Yeah. It's a bit crazy.
Yeah, but that is the one. That is one of the sets that Chessex has not given confirmation, but at Gen Con this year, they implied that that was going to be put into production.
So
we don't have confirmation yet on any of it. As of where are we? Middle of February almost.
Roughly, yeah. But worst case scenario, act on them while you can. If you did want to collect them, things like that. Worst case scenario, pick and choose the ones that you do like. If you want the lab dice, get them while they're hot. So, unless the most popular one, unless you want that Lab Dice logo.
So that was wave 1 of the Chessex Lab Dice. We'll be having videos coming soon for wave 2 and wave 3 when I get them, because they just came out this week. I haven't picked them all up yet.
Like a week ago.
Not even.
Yeah.
We are Strange Aeon Games. Like, subscribe, follow, share. StrangeAeonGames.com. If you're a big dice fan, want to learn about the history and then other dice, 20facesofate.com. We'll be throwing up an article on these dice as well. All the links are below, or maybe here.
Thanks. Numbers.
Whenever Mike decides to edit it.
Comments down below.
Yeah.
The normal rigmarole. You guys know what to do. But yeah.
I'm going to give a shout out. If y'all are on Facebook and are dice fans, go to Goblin Dice Horde, Dice Maniacs Club. There's a couple of others out there. Those are the biggies. 10,000 plus members each. And you'll learn a lot about dice on there.
Absolutely. And of course, too, if you guys want to hang out in our groups as well, we are on all the social medias. Got a huge following so far.
Strange Aeon Games
Strange
Order
Aeon
of
Games.
Madness
Yep.
is our group. And we'll be back with Lab Dice 2.
Yep.
Wave 2 and Wave 3. And
Coming soon.
we got a bunch of
Particle
other
effects.
stuff coming for you. We were just looking at Call of Cthulhu dice. I'm sure we'll have some Krakens for you at some point.
I'm excited for the Call of Cthulhu one.
I know
that
you
one's going to be in depth. We have
a
little
ridiculous
bit more.
amount of Cthulhu dice. It's not even funny how much are sitting right over there in the cabinet.
It's haunting. Hauntingly, it's horrific. It's scary.
And thanks.
Yep. Take it easy, guys.
Keep the madness rolling on the tabletop. Where's it going?
Madness on the tabletop.